Croconuts and crocodiles, coconuts and crocodiles, 1.1, solving two variable equations. So welcome to the new book. I'm going to start with something you know already, which is solving a one variable equation. Notice the equation here. Equation means equals and something on both sides. That's a reminder. And also one variable. There's my one variable. So to solve a one variable equation, remember the goal of that is to figure out what value for x will make this sentence true. Well, you all know that the answer is 5 before we start, but let's just go through the steps that you learned in the last unit. You subtract 10 on both sides. That cancels and you get x equals 5. And that's my answer. My solution is x equals 5. There's one solution to this equation, and the way I show it numerically is this way. The way I show it in a picture is to graph it. X equals 5 would look like that. That's it. That's the picture, and that's the answer. Okay, so when I have two variable equations, things are a little bit different. I have two variables. They may be equal, they may not be equal. You can assume that they're not equal because x and y are different letters, but you could also say that x and y are the same number. So if I were to make a chart of my answers, basically I would have a bunch of different combinations for what two numbers add up to give me 10. I think you've seen this example before, but I think it's a real good example for you to be able to understand what's going on. So you could have, think of anything. What would work here? 4 and 6? Sure. And 6 and 4, would that work too? Sure. 5 and 5, that would work. 10 and 0 would work. 0 and 10 would work. Can I keep going? Sure. 1 and 9. Okay, these are all the obvious examples. All right, how about some negatives? Negative 99. If x was negative 99, what would y have to be? Remember that x and y have to equal 10. So negative 99 and 109. If I add those two, my answer would be positive 10. Well, what if I had a fraction? 9 and a half. What would I need? Oh, just a half. Continue this down. Okay, so what if I had a decimal? 3.5. How about 6.5? Wouldn't that bring me to 10? So I could have positives, I can have negatives, I can have fractions, I can have decimals. In fact, I could keep going. There are infinite combinations that are going to work here. Okay, but there's combinations. So the way that you show these is definitely not by listing it, because if I listed it, I'd be listing forever, because there are infinite possibilities, infinite combinations that will work for this example and any other two variable equation. But not every set of two numbers is going to work. Here's an example of something that doesn't work. What if I had this chart here? X equals 2, y equals 10. Well, if I add 2 plus 10, do I get 10? No, that doesn't work. Okay, how about 3 and negative 19? If I add those, do I get 10? No, I'd get negative 16. So that is not a solution. So I can come up with equally as many infinite solutions that don't work for this example, for this equation. So then how do you tell the answer to this sort of equation? Well, the best way to show it is in a picture, and that comes in the form of this picture right here. And in the next unit, you'll learn how to label all the different parts of this and how to show your answer graphically. But just for a little bit of a preview, these can be put together into a point, an XY point. So 4, 6, this axis is the x-axis, so anything along this line would refer to the x number. So if this point is 0, I go 1, 2, 3, 4 for my x, and y is going to be this one. So this is 0, I'm going to be going up 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on my x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on my y. That point right there would be an example. Okay, 6, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. And actually, these are all the different points that are listed here and some more. And then if I go ahead and do that, I'm not very good at drawing straight lines, you will see that that straight line, which I think I'll have to use a tool for that in the future, that straight line would represent all of the answers to this equation. So to solve a two-variable equation, you come up with combinations of numbers, an x and a y, that will satisfy the given equation. In the next chapter, in the next unit lesson, you'll start to learn about how to take that and turn it into a line or a picture that shows all the infinite points. Okay, that's it. Best of luck.